What's up, everybody? We back with another video. Today, I just want to say thank you to all my new subscribers and future new subscribers. We do nothing here without God. I always invite God in, and everything is spiritually led. We cover from a physical and spiritual world standpoint to get the full blown truth. We are raw, real, and uncut here, nothing but it. So, yeah. All right. So I just want to do a little quick thing today, y'all, and show y'all a video because I was not aware of this video after I covered the whole idea of how Ellen. Remember, I showed y'all how Ellen was talking about Mother Nature is unhappy with us standing next to the flood, talking about that judgment being put upon California by the wrath of 1,000 waters tsunami. Well, I know a lot of you did tell me as well that you had dreams about stuff, and when it came to a tsunami hitting California, and somebody said they moved away as well. They were going to move like at a beachside, and they said they had a dream, and they said nope. Well, this is it. Sometimes God will do things in a way we least expect it, and I was trying to figure out how this was going to happen. But this is the title of this video that I ended up catching my eye. Storm surge like tsunami strikes California and major damage in Capitola and Santa Cruz. And this was 10 days ago from, you know, I I had no idea that this was how God was going to spread the wrath of 1,000 waters upon California. I thought it was going to be like an earthquake or like some volcanic activity, but it was like this. He did it in a way that was least expected. So if we saw like earthquake and a volcanic activity, people would evacuate before it hit. You know what I'm saying? So that would make sense why God wouldn't do it in a way to warn those of the wicked so they could evacuate beforehand. So this way makes more sense, and it's like the least expected way and surprising. Um, I also want to go over some things because I want to show y'all that a video I did back in September. I'm gonna pull up this screenshot here because I like to always show y'all the dates and exactly what I said and what the message was about, because I did so much prior to this channel, and it's all starting to come to pass. So y'all gonna be seeing me kind of do this format of a video to kind of show y'all the actual date when I created these videos, because I'm not taking y'all to that channel for purposes of having an alternative to get away during my resting periods from this channel. What comes with this channel is persecution, then you got a mass following, and my other channel is more casual, and I share that with somebody as well, but it's mainly mine, but it's more casual, and I don't want to take what I got going on here and all the spiritual warfare and stuff and give it over to somebody and they be like, what is going on? So I don't want to do that. And I advise everybody to have your own safe space for resting away when you do stuff like this, because it can be a lot. It could really be a lot. But so in this screenshot here, I did this video, and it was a lot of different factors. It was just a big video, and I even put this screenshot in the community thing. So this was that video. So you see in here, I have Tsunami, California, and the video I just named Project One. It was created on September 25th, 2022 at 7:16 p.m. and I accessed it today. So, all right. And again, it wasn't modified in any way, shape, or form. It was just created. So, I got to show y'all this just so, because I owe that to y'all at least, to show y'all, like, yes, I've done other works on the drive that God has had me save just in case something happened to a channel or whatever the case may be. Yes, and just want to bring up some of the other stuff in this folder, talk a little briefly. One says corruption of companies, so how companies are going to uh, begin to do things that benefit them and get rid of employees or cut hours or do things to gain more money. And then here it says earthquakes, power plant, water shortages, and famines. We can talk about that another time. There are other earthquakes that's been happening. just God was showing me some things: power plant, water shortages, and famines. Uh, Gaming disappointments doesn't apply to y'all. That was more for the consecrating side of things and predictions, which actually was happening to them. Then this one says righteous versus the wicked, or righteous and the wicked. God gonna store up good stuff for the righteous that the wicked has taken, and do a transfer from the wicked to the righteous. So I'm just clarifying some of this stuff. It's good for me to recap. Yes. And one thing before I play that video for you guys, after showing you the screenshot here, just so y'all can see what it looks like in a video format. Um, there are people that I want to correct something on. There are people that will say, because something is not, they say stuff like this is not biblical or in the Bible, so it's just not according to the Bible. And the Bible is not going to give you every specific thing about your life. God will warn you about things and people in your life. God will warn you about pieces of judgment in order to get you out of the way. And the Bible verse that says this, we will have dreams and visions, it didn't say what kind. It just said dreams and visions. In the end times, young men, old men shall have dreams and visions. Your sons and daughters shall prophesy, have dreams and visions, stuff like that in the end times. All right. That's basically what that verse is about. But one thing people try to say when it comes to it not lining up is God would never this or would never that. Make sure that when you never put limitations on God. The number one verse that you should have number one in your head when you're going and dealing with stuff like this is that nothing is impossible with God. Okay? Nothing is impossible with God. Meaning, you are now saying it is impossible that God would give you a dream or vision about an upcoming piece of judgment or warn you about people in your life. You have to ask yourself and use a little common sense into how do you think this stuff just happens the way it does? Where does that come from? It doesn't just happen out of nowhere, And then people that are affected are people that are famous, like, as well. So it's not just happening like that for no reason. I just want y'all to understand that, because there are some people that do have that misconception. I want to clarify that. And I also want to use an example again. There was actually a couple people telling me that they had dreams about the tsunami, but one person had said they moved away from California due to dreams, and they didn't move on the beach side because they had dreams about a tsunami. And so that is an example of God telling that person, I'm going to need you to move out of the way because I don't want you to get hurt. I don't have this planned or intended for you. So God will do that. I had a dream about California a year ago. Basically, in this dream, y'all, I was calling friends that lived in California on the phone. I kept saying, it's going to be a tsunami. It's going to be a tsunami. Like, y'all got to get out of there. Y'all got to get out of there. And basically, nobody believed in me. And then I don't know if the people died from the tsunami or not, but I know it happened, and I didn't hear from anybody. So nobody believed me. Just like with these messages, like, people is not really believing the things that I'm saying. And that was basically a year ago that I had that dream. People gonna get affected by this. Now, California, the Lord expressed to me, that was his way of telling me that California is gonna get hit by a tsunami. The Lord says they're gonna get hit by a tsunami for multiple reasons. And you notice in California, you deal with all these crazy the farmlands getting dried up and all this stuff, droughts and fires, and they basically, the reasoning for that, you got Hollywood being a place that has a lot of bad influence. I mean, it's God. Before I even started doing this, God was just putting up, like, on my recommended, different people's experiences of parties that go on there, and how you gotta, the things you gotta do to get in these parties, and how they get people. and they just not doing right. They not sending the right messages out there, and it's pushing on the enemy's ways throughout these movies, throughout the music, throughout, you know, all this stuff. And California is just, he said there's a lot of wickedness and perversion going on. That's basically, he says it's a lot of wickedness and perversion going on, and he's tired of it. So I'm gonna actually lead y'all attention to something. Okay, now, I'm sorry, I gotta find it real quick. So this, he was telling me to, he was giving me, like, sometimes y'all, he tells me and sometimes he gives me the idea, okay, the thought. Basically, something, him was telling me to look up a earthquake in California today. And basically it says the fault that runs along LA, you know, basically could trigger a very strong earthquake. And immediately when I seen that, I thought about that tsunami, and I thought about what he had showed me a year ago. But he is seriously, if you look at all this stuff happening around the world, I mean, we get this hurricanes happening, like, it's literally so much happening with natural disasters, and that is not a coincidence. Yes, we have all this stuff happen, natural disasters, all that stuff happen, but it's the time, things are happening one after one after one after one after one after one in all these places. So get yourselves prepared. This is not a game. The Lord was, and when he expressed to me about that tsunami, he said the wrath of 1,000 waters will hit California. That is exactly how he said it. The wrath of 1,000 waters. People can always pray on stuff like this not to happen, but unfortunately people aren't going to do stuff and change the way that they're doing things, you know. And that's why I ask people to go back and test it with him, because I don't want people to get hurt that don't deserve it, just simply because they don't seek him. That's also why people get hurt in these situations. So it's just so important, like, when y'all living in these certain areas and living in this world, you have to seek him and seek direction from him, so you can know whether or not you got to get out of this place, whether or not you shouldn't be here or there. It's not to be scared, but it's so you can already know. So we're gonna move on to the next thing.
The strong weather system triggered high tides and giant waves along the coast of Santa Cruz County early Thursday, January 5th. The storm surges, destroying sections of the pier in the seaside town of Capitola and another in Seacliff. Video footage showed the Capitola wharf split in half from a section of the wharf collapsing into the sea. Water from the ocean in Saco Creek surged back and forth, carrying massive tree trunks. In addition, torrents of water surging into seaside homes and businesses that had been boarded up in advance of the storm. The damage was just the latest after a series of storms hit California. The Santa Cruz wharf was evacuated as waves reaching up to 20 feet pummeled the structure, and officials warned spectators to seek shelter. Multiple road closures also went into effect throughout Santa Cruz County due to flooding. The county urged residents of beachfront homes to avoid ocean-facing windows amid the tidal surge. Many residents came back to rescue what they could from their flooded homes, even though the risk was still there.
Montecito very mudslides that killed so many people, and